Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being part of our program. Here we are together again on the radio, doing what we do best, doing what we really like. I'll tell you what, we do enjoy this. I want to talk to people out there who have done the following, and we've gotten calls from guys who have dated these people. But I'm curious how many of them have turned into soccer moms, scout troop leaders, members of the PTA, church choir directors, and what have you. Because in my heart of hearts, I know that there's a lot of people out like this out there floating around. I'm wondering how many of you have married a hooker or a stripper. And unlike what we expect, we expect that they're just going to be sluts forever, tramps forever, whores forever, okay? They have wormed their way into the fabric of suburban society. They have gone from working the strip routine or dating 10 guys a night for $300 an hour to having your baby, taking care of your house, having coffee clutches or Tupperware parties, or going to Jenny Craig. I just wonder how many women like that are out there. I'm willing to bet also there are women out there who are in the suburban fabric of America who were hookers or strippers in the past, and nobody in your current life even knows that that was you, that you did that. Every once in a while, I see a woman in that milieu, women in that situation, in the burbs, sitting in somebody's backyard at a little barbecue, and you got those, you got the Kirkland hamburgers out there from Costco and the Dixie Cups, and you got the Coleman cooler full of light beer and everything. You're all sitting out there, some of you drinking white Zinfandel, and you're all sitting out there having a conversation. Now, we've all been to an event like this. Maybe some of us go more often than once in a while. Every once in a while, I see a woman in the crowd. She's wearing a wedding ring. She's wearing an engagement ring. She's not a slut at all. But I look at her, and I almost feel like she's looking back at me like I can detect that she doesn't fit into this crowd. Or she's afraid of being detected. Because I got to believe there are people out there right now who used to do that. And now nobody has any idea they did it. Strip clubs have become ubiquitous. I mean, who hasn't been with a stripper? I once dated a stripper, but you want to know something? She was not primarily a stripper. She was a student with a very high IQ who was studying to become a dentist, and she was going to school to become a dentist. And she didn't have the money to go to school. Her mother had her young. It was kind of a white trash, trailer park situation. Mom was 16 when she had her daughter. So when the daughter was 18, mom was 34. It's time to go to school. Kid can't afford it. So she starts working in this case, a Kansas City strip club. She had amazing breasts, just incredible, natural, beautiful. She was blonde, and not only did she look like the girl next door, you want to know something? She was the girl next door. She did the strip club routine strictly to make money to go to school. She didn't do drugs. She didn't drink. She was that person. It was amazing. Some girls look like the girl next door, and they're complete whores or sluts. This girl was the girl next door who had to strip to make money and did not want any part of the rest of the life. She didn't have an abusive boyfriend or a pimp or any of that stuff. Didn't do any lap dances. She was just out there on the pole every night, took her money and left. That was it. Once she graduated from dental school, she stopped stripping. She was done. Somewhere out there, there's a woman who's a dentist. She's blonde and has amazing breasts. And it looks like she simply, grew up in a normal suburban neighborhood, or you wouldn't imagine she grew up in a trailer park. Normal suburban neighborhood, went to school, looks like she just studied hard, got good grades, she's your dentist. You have no idea that she was sticking her cooch in somebody's face several years ago. And that's what I'm interested in. These women who used to do these slutty, whorish things that have now wormed their way into respectable society, especially the women where guys they're married to don't even know. But even if they do, call me crazy. Anytime I'm driving by a school here in L.A. at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm on the way to work or just driving around, I see parents waiting by the gate for their kids to come out. And I wonder how many of them were in porno movies. How many of them were strippers? How many of them were hookers? And now they've got kids in the first grade, second grade, third grade, and the other parents don't know, and the other people in the neighborhood don't know. You just wonder how often that's happened. I can only imagine what that's like. There you are living in the suburbs. Your life used to be like wild, man, just wild. Guys handing you $100 bills, you doing all kinds of creepy things with them and stuff, and now you decided to settle down, do the suburban thing. So if that's you, and you've wormed your way into the suburbs, maybe your husband doesn't even know that that's what your background was before you got into this. Or maybe you're a guy who married somebody like this. You married the former stripper, the former hooker, the former escort, the former porn actress, and you decided to make an honest woman of her. And she's succeeding at it. I want to hear those stories.
Tom Leykis. Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-866.
I am just so appalled by the conversation going on tonight.
It's the Tom Leykis Show.
Yeah, it's the Tom Leykis Show. 1-800-5800-TOM. Thank you for tuning in. I'm going to talk this hour about women who were once hookers, strippers, porn actresses, who now have cleverly wormed their way into the fabric of the all-American suburb. Allison on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Oh, my God, Tom, when I was 18 and 19, I was going to college. I was a village bicycle, and I loved every minute of it.
Really?
I had experiences that I'll fantasize about for the rest of my life, and I'm glad that I had those. I knew a guy. I met him on the freeway. I would, be driving by. I'd see a cute guy in a car, and I'd, wave to him, and that's how I'd meet guys sometimes. And that's how I met this guy, and he knew a bunch of other guys that lived in, a house. They all shared a house together. And, I'd go over there, and they'd all take turns on me. I would be giving my one guy there, some happiness down there, and then the other guys would just kind of be taking. And it was just awesome fantasies. And
so you were not charging money for this. You were just open to you open to all comers.
It was awesome, but it was cool because there were so many guys. Some guys are a little better than others, and I would turn away and say, oh, how the other guy, do, whatever, touch me, and and not, because some guys feel better than some guys are better other guys. You know what I mean? And
that's what I hear.
That even led to bachelor parties, and that I got money for it and stuff like that, but. Yeah, it was just an exciting time, and but I was going to college too, and I knew what I was doing, and I was just doing it for the fun of it, and for my own satisfaction, and even some girl on girl action too with some of their girlfriends, and like your previous topic, they all knew about it. I even did 2 brothers at separate times, and they knew about it, So. All
right, now what made you stop?
Well, because I wanted to make money and get a job and live a life. Because my parents raised me very, you know, my parents raised me well. I just went through a crazy time, and you know, I wanted to get a job, so I graduated, got my degree, and started, you know, just being a county employee and, you know, taking, you know, classes. And then, but I met my husband in college and totally faithful to him. But now I can, you know, use all my sexual, you know, stuff, take it out on him now.
Now, does he know about your past?
He totally knows, totally honest and open. And when I met him, I was still, you know, kind of doing that stuff. But as soon as I met him, he was just, you know, an amazing person to me. So I was like, you know, this is the man I want to be with, you know, la-da-da. And I called off everything. All the guys I had ever, or all the guys I was currently in contact with, I just told him, you know, I'll see you later. You know, because it wasn't like we were in love or, I mean, with the other guys. It was all just for fun. Everybody knew it. It was all just, you know, for whatever satisfaction. But, you know,
well, are you satisfied now as you were then?
Yeah. Well, it's fantasy, you know. It's like
the real thing now is not as good as it used to be.
Well, it's good. I mean, it's good because it's stability and you're with.
No, we're not talking about the total package. I'm talking about the sex, and it's not as good as it used to be.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, how can it ever be good when you have 3 guys working on you compared to 1? You know.
Oh, I wouldn't know.
That's definitely is. I mean, you can never get over that, you know.
Does your husband know that the sex used to be better?
No, we never needed to go there.
Oh boy.
Because you know what?
He must wonder.
It's better in a different way, though. You know, it's better one-on-one because it's, you know, it's more love. It's more, you know, just devotion now.
But meanwhile, you're fantasizing about gangbangs from the past.
No,
that's not so romantic, dear.
Yeah.
It's okay with me what you fantasize about, but you're fantasizing about gangbangs of the past.
I think about it. I still do, and, you know, I mean, who doesn't, though? Who doesn't?
I don't know. You're talking about this love and romance, but in reality, you're fantasizing about 3 guys working on you.
But that's okay, though, because everybody fantasizes about, you know, things they read in magazines or their old experiences or whatever. So, but it was 10 years ago. You know?
I think everybody does it when their current sex life isn't as good as it used to be.
No, it's awesome, though. You know, it's different because we have kids and we have different focuses now, different goals, and, you know, you get older. You don't want to be like...
The other guy had you when you were more fun.
Yeah, when I was 18, you know, I was young and supple, and now I'm still good looking, but, you know, I'm going to be, you know, I'm approaching 30. I don't want to be like this 40-year-old woman who never settled down and is still trying to get men. They're not going to be after her anymore.
So you cast your chips in while you could.
Yeah, you get satisfaction. Well, I met my husband when I was 20. I mean, it's not like, I mean... Were you
still gangbanging at that time?
18 and 19, yeah. No, after I met him, my future, when we were dating, when I first met him, I called off everything else.
So you never, like, had him into a gangbang first and then said, you know what, you're the one?
No. He was nowhere near with that other crowd. He was like a complete separate crowd.
He never had that kind of experience like you had.
Oh, no.
That takes a man who's awfully secure to feel good about the fact that you had all this wild experience and Poindexter was there working his way through college.
He is very secure. He's a very awesome person, and that's why, you know, he got me to, I mean, it didn't take much for him to be like, or for me to say, you know, I want to be with him, you know?
Okay.
I don't care about those other guys that, you know, they're just fun. They're just my fun at the time, but now I'm satisfied in a different way, you know?
I understand, Allison. Thank you.
Thanks.
Appreciate the call. It's 1-800-5800-TOM. I'm talking about women who have worked as hookers, escorts, strippers, porn actresses who now have weaved their way into the fabric of the suburbs. They're soccer moms, they're moms, they head up PTA meetings. You know what I'm talking about. Steve on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, Steve.
How we doing?
Do you care, Steve?
Yes, sir. I care very much.
I'm doing great.
Well, Tom, just to let you know, in my life of 38 years, I have married and respectfulized 2 strippers. The first one, we were together actually 13 years.
How did you respectfulize her?
Well, you date them for a couple years while they're in the bar, and then, you know, they find out what, you know, it's like to have money and, you know, just go out to eat and things of that nature to where they don't have to do what they're doing. and, you know, it tends to get old for them.
I see. Okay. And when that relationship ended, did she go back to stripping?
No. Actually, the first wife, we were together 13 years, and, you know, she got too old and tired looking to go back to do that.
Oh, okay.
And that first one, I mean, with her, it got towards the end, you know, sometimes, you know, you can take the stripper out of the bar, but not the bar out of the stripper. And she turned into a drunk, and, you know, I'm out.
I understand.
Just out. But the wife I'm with now, you know, she's 10 years younger than I am, but we've been together for 3 years, and we now have a kid together, and she's running a daycare.
Really?
We have an in-home daycare.
And you know her past?
Oh, yes. I mean, the swinging and everything, you bet.
Wow. And do the other parents at the daycare know who's taking care of their kids?
Oh, hell no. Would you take your kid to a daycare?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, and this one, she's got a portfolio. She used to pose for magazines and on the internet, and yeah, it was pretty wild the first couple of years.
Wow. And is she wild now, or has she settled into being as bored with sex as most people in the suburbs?
Well, after the child was born, you know, the sex is still intense and wild, just not as frequent. It tends to ebb. What used to be, you know, 4 or 5 times a week is now, you know, once or twice a week.
Uh-huh.
But,
See, I always think when I've been with women like that, I always think somebody else got the best end of the deal. I dated a chick once who said, you know, I'm 25, life is over. I used to look a lot better. I'm thinking to myself, I missed out on the best part. Other guys got the good stuff.
Yeah, it's like getting the last 2 pieces of a cold pizza.
That's right. Yikes.
Yeah, and, you know, exactly the thing that you were talking about, you know, if you knew that the person you were taking your child to had this particular past, and by no means does somebody else's past really reflect on what they are now, because, you know, they've grown into something else and have different priorities, but still that past would overhang and your business would be shot.
No doubt about that, Steve. Thank you for the call. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Denise on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. I'm calling because I was a hooker, and I used to book my own jobs when I was going to school in order to pay for my school and pay for my law school.
So did you advertise in, like, the LA Express and newspapers like that?
No, I actually I used to crash parties, like corporate parties, like in Vegas. And so I used to go up there because I knew that the law, you know, for prostitution would be, you know, I would not face what I would face in California. So I used to go up there, and I used to charge like $500 to $1,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how long did you do that for?
I did it for about 3.5 years.
Okay, until you got through law school.
Uh-huh.
Until
well, actually, before I got to school, because I had to devote my full time to go to law school.
Okay.
So I saved the money.
All right, so you got your law degree?
Yes, I do.
Are you a lawyer now?
Yes, I am.
And how did you meet your husband?
I met my husband. Actually, he was working on the defense side.
Really?
Yeah. And so there was a couple of trials that we did that I had to face his law firm, and we became friends.
All right. And you dated him for how long?
I dated him for about 1.5 years.
A year and a half, and then you got engaged?
Yes.
And then how long before you married him?
We married approximately 18 months after we met.
A month after you met?
No, 18 months.
Oh, 18 months. Okay. And you told him, of course?
No.
You didn't tell him?
No, I didn't tell him. No. I wouldn't tell him.
Aren't you worried he might find out?
Yes.
Why wouldn't you tell him?
Because it's very different for a man to you know, when he meets you, when you know, you take care of your reputation, like I've taken care of
cleaning up my reputation after I was whoring around for all those years. And, I worked very hard. And once you establish that, it's just like when you do that, it's like you're going and having a double life, and then you get one day to the point that you have to decide what you want to do or where do you want to go.
Right, but isn't it possible you and your husband could be walking through an airport or somewhere and run into somebody who paid you $500 once?
Yes.
And what will you do if that happens?
I'll deny it.
You'll deny it. And do you have children with him?
Yes, I do. I have one child.
How old?
She's 1.5 years old.
1.5 years old. Wow. Now, how far away are you from where you were hooking?
Well, I'm in Marina Del Rey.
Right, and where was this? Vegas you were?
Vegas.
Vegas. We in L.A. go to Vegas all the time.
Well, yeah.
I mean, you could meet anybody that you might have been with. And what if you met 2 people or 3 people?
When I was doing that, it was just like a job. I didn't care about the faces. I didn't care. All I cared about is, the time that was put in, I charged, and I left. It was a job.
Right. But when you say that, if you really felt that way, you'd tell that to your husband, wouldn't you?
No.
Why not?
No. Because he I don't want to take a chance. It would probably ruin my marriage.
Well, that maybe the time to tell him was before you committed to marry him, right? Did you think about telling him?
Yes.
And what made you...
He comes from a very conservative and very, his background is conservative.
So this time bomb is ticking all the time.
Oh, yeah. I have like a tail that I know one day I'm going to have to pay for it.
I mean, isn't it possible one day, for example, the IRS would audit you? I was just audited by the IRS, by the way, so I know about this. And you'd have to explain where all this income came from?
Well, yeah, but I used to pay cash.
For everything?
I used my credit card.
So you didn't have a bank account?
Huh?
You did not have a bank account?
If I used to get checks, I used to go directly to the bank.
Yeah, I know, but those checks are out there somewhere in the file. They're out there. Canceled checks.
Yeah.
With your name on them.
Yeah.
The IRS could one day come down and say, oh, just like they just did to me. They just did this. I just finished an audit with the IRS. Thank God they didn't find anything because there was nothing to find, but they checked. And I brought in piles and piles and piles of paper to prove that I didn't cheat, and I didn't. But you know what?
How far back did they go with you? 3 years?
They can go, here's the thing. If they find a mistake, they can go back as far as they want. Back as far as 7 years.
Wow.
And if it's fraud, I believe they can go back as far as they want. So, now, what would happen? If you suddenly got that letter from the Internal Revenue Service saying, all right, come in and prove how you made $200,000 and didn't pay any taxes in, 1997.
I don't know.
So
I have to declare bankruptcy or something.
So your life is like a ticking time bomb. But one day he could find out, and if he thing is, had you told him, that would be one thing. But if he finds out you lied about it?
I lied. You know what? Because all men are the same, sweetheart. When you go and you meet a man, and at first they put on their show and they want to, wine and dine you. It's not after you marry them that you really find out who they are.
Right. And so what's wrong with your husband? Now you know who he really is. Who is he really?
He's a very generous man who is very conservative. We belong to a country club.
Oh, really?
Back in the desert. Yeah. I went the whole route, sweetheart.
Wow.
And it took me a long time.
A long time to do what? Learn how to be in that society or what?
To learn how to be accepted in the society, be a lady.
Uh-huh. So this would be a big scandal if you got caught.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it would.
Wow.
It would be yes.
Do you ever lose sleep over this? I mean, do you ever think about it?
Yes, I do.
And?
What can I do? I say, sweetheart, I had a job, but my job was PR.
I'm going to say this to you. You know what? I'm not being judgmental of you because I know people who are hookers and strippers and porn actresses. I've known them all, okay? But here's what I'm going to say to you. The reason to get married, if you're going to do it, and I've talked about this on the air, there's very few benefits to a man to get married. But one of the things you might want to get out of a marriage is intimacy. The ability to be completely upfront and honest with the person you're with. The one person in the world you could tell anything to. If you committed a crime, if you murdered somebody, if you were in trouble, you could come home and talk to them, and they could help you, or they could empathize with you. And here,
that's baloney. That's baloney because,
really?
When you get married, at the time you're married and you let all the beans out, yes, everything, oh, yes, I will cover your butt. But as soon as any signs of problems in the marriage, all of that comes out.
Well, you didn't need to get married. You're a lawyer. You could have just worked. You could have had kids on your own. You didn't need to get married.
There's love, Tom.
There's love based on a fallacy. He loves you for what he thinks you are. But you're also something else that he doesn't know.
That's true.
So it's love based on a lie.
Yeah, you're right. Love based on a lie.
Right. If you told him the truth, does he really love you?
I don't know, sweetheart. I don't know what he.
But you wouldn't want to find out.
I would probably get ready and have all my P's and Q's crossed before I told him, in case he would ever, try to, to tell me that it's over, that our marriage is over.
Right.
Because that breaks a man's heart. That breaks a man's illusion.
But the point is, who would be responsible for that if he broke his heart? Who would be the person who was responsible?
He would be responsible for his own feelings.
Because he didn't hire a PI to check out your background first?
No, because the man has to be, they're not a lot of men out there who are secure about who they are in order to put up with a...
Clearly, that includes your husband.
Woman.
That includes your husband. Why'd you marry a guy like that?
Because I wanted to have a
Because you wanted to pass in polite society. That's why. You had to lie about your background so you could belong to the country club.
Yes, I did.
And if you get caught one day, should we all be crying crocodile tears for you?
No.
You're damn straight.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM.
How'd you marry somebody who doesn't like to go downtown?
I guess sheer stupidity.
It's the Tom Leykis Show. The Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM.
We are talking about hookers, strippers, porn actresses who gave it all up and weaved their way into the fabric of suburban America. Alicia on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Tom?
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, I'm calling, I guess, to tell you a little bit of my story.
All right.
Okay. I was a street prostitute, like in mid-'90s and late 90s, and I'm now in a very long-term relationship for 7 years, and I'm a paralegal. I drive a nice car, and no one knows at my work what I used to do, and it seems to work out just fine for me.
Were you doing it while you were studying to become a paralegal?
No, I wasn't.
All right, so what made you stop?
Well, I was a drug addict, so that definitely contributed to the kind of work I was doing.
Uh-huh.
And so when I got sober, I went back to doing office work because before I got all screwed up on drugs and ended up actually that's a lie. I turned my first trick when I was 16 years old because I was promiscuous in high school anyway, and somebody offered me some money and I took it. But when I really got out of control with my drugs and stuff in my early 20s. I stopped working in offices, obviously, and then when I got sober, I went back to that and just gradually got more respect and took paralegal courses, and people like my work, and they like me, and so it's 7 years later.
And you're married?
I'm gay, so my marriage isn't recognized by the state, but I am in a, you know...
Well, it might be as of this week, for all we know.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. So, that's...
All right, and so you're in this relationship, and does your lover or spouse, as ever you want to call her,
Yes.
does
yes,
she know your past?
She does.
She does?
Yeah.
And do you have children?
No, we have no children.
All right. But the people in your neighborhood don't know anything about your past?
No, they know nothing of my past.
The people at your law office don't know?
No, they do not know.
They don't suspect?
No.
You never run into people who, you never run into anybody who would recognize you?
I wouldn't remember. I mean, there was a lot of people, but I don't think that, you know, like a street hooker is someone that they would remember anyway, unless it was a regular of mine. So that's not a fear I have.
Not even an issue?
No, I look completely different, so I don't think anyone would recognize me anyway.
Got it.
Yeah.
Alicia, thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate the call, 1-800-5800-TOM. This is Anthony on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, how you doing, Tom?
I'm okay.
All right, buddy. I'm a 62-year-old kind of guy. I'm from the old school. I just got with a woman about 12 years ago, and this woman I found out just over the last week, she was a prostitute and a hooker, and she told me she worked at a bank, but all this time I just learned about half a week ago she was a prostitute.
You just learned that? How did you learn it?
I don't know. The whole time, you know, she usually say my boyfriend. I don't believe in saying my boyfriend. I'm a man friend. I'm not a boy. And then she would always say, my man friend. I told her to have her say man friend. He works. He's retired, but I work at a bank. She would tell people I work at that she would work at the bank. When I go down there, I find out that she's not at the bank. I drive over at a bank that she don't even work at. I happened to be out one night coming from a bar, and I see her walking down Sunset and La Brea, turning tricks. And I said, well, wait a minute, I'm going to church with you the whole time. You're on the church committee, and now you find out that this is what you really do?
I didn't see you on Cheaters, did I?
Oh, no. I never...
I saw that story, that exact storyline one night on Cheaters.
Something like that? No, I never... You know what? I always use that word cheaters. I never use that word cheat because that's when you're taking a test in school. I usually call it messing around. And the thing is, it's something that I wanted to ask you. Is it okay?
Is what okay?
If I wanted to ask you one question, Tom.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. It's something that I don't understand. Don't get mad at me. I'm one of your fondest listeners. But I just want to know one thing. I hear you always say, you always say married, and I know you said several times you atheist, you're an atheist. I said, well, how you say you believe in marriage if you don't believe in God? Because he said something about God, and I just wanted to say that. How can you believe in marriage if you don't believe in God?
Who said I believe in marriage?
Tom Leykis. Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM.
I think you're a misogynist.
A what?
A misogynist.
A misogynist. What is that?
That's a person who doesn't like women.
A misogynist.
M-I-S. Well, I don't want to spell it. Let me tell you what I called you.
Can you spell it?
Yes, I can.
Really? Go ahead.
M-Y-S-G-O-N-I-S-T-I-C.
Misogynist.
Yeah.
The Tom Leykis Show.
The Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. It's Shantae. Hello.
Hi, Tom.
Hi.
Hi, it's actually my first time calling in, and I was listening to you because a coworker got me listening to you.
Uh-huh.
His name is Mark from one of his friends named Camacho. But I was actually calling about the subject for tonight about the strippers and stuff.
Yeah.
And, first thing I want to say is that strippers, actually, they don't like to be called strippers. They like to be called dancers.
I know that's what they like, but, I also know that people like to call taxes revenue enhancement, and I know that people like to call sanitation men, garbage men, sanitation engineers. Housewives like to be called domestic engineers, but, dancers are the Bolshoi ballet, okay?
Yes.
Strippers take their clothes off and slide down a pole.
That's okay.
And they don't do a lot of dancing.
Okay, but see, I actually was a dancer, and I myself don't like being called a stripper.
Well, I don't know any strippers who like being called dancers, but I believe in telling the truth.
Okay.
How much dancing did you do?
I actually danced for like a year and a half.
No, I mean, when you were actually performing, how much of it was dancing?
How much?
Yeah, how much of it was shoving your cooch in some guy's face?
Not much of it. I was actually a stage dancer.
I see.
So I had bars and poles and all that, so no one could actually...
You can't dance on a pole. Your feet have to be touching the ground to be dancing.
Okay, then. We'll go with stripper.
That's good. I like that. Our email address is my name. It's Tom at blowmeuptom.com.
The Tom Leykis Show.